Hello dreamers, I'm Lisa and I'm the Dreamwork coach. In this video, we are going to talk about the best dream dictionary ever. It's your dream journal. Did I give that away too soon? If you've ever wanted to hear me sing, this is your lucky day. Just stick around and I'll explain why the guitar is here, but you gotta hang around for that. There are so many reasons to keep a dream journal, and there are so many ways that you can go about actually keeping one, and we are going to cover a lot of those right now. First, let's go over the whys. Why should you bother keeping a dream journal? Well, the first one, and probably the most obvious one, is that it helps you remember your dreams. Not only does it help you remember your dreams like years later, but it helps you with dream recall. It helps you actually remember more dreams. You know, every great dream adventure begins and ends with your dream journal. Think of it like a travel journal. You can write your expectations in it, you can detail your journey in it, and then you can use it later to look back and reflect and remember all the fun places that you've been. So I have all of my dream journals right here. I have quite a collection, and these are just the handwritten ones. I have since moved on to keeping digital dream journals. But I just wanted to show how long I've been keeping dream journals, and so you believe me that all of these benefits actually are benefits. Like firsthand accounts as to why this is helpful. This is one of my first dream journals. This one, it looks like I was about 15 years old when I was doing this one. It says Lisa's Crazy Dreams. I haven't looked at this in a while. I was typing these on my typewriter. This was in 1994. So what was young Lisa dreaming about? Let's see. Everyone treated me nicer because I was wearing a giant sponge Pepsi costume. I kept tripping and falling because I had to wear big sponge shoes. Then I got thirsty and I ended up drinking a Coke. Then everyone got mad because I, the Pepsi, was indeed drinking a Coke. That's funny. Anyway, like I was saying, dream journals help you remember your dreams. The funny thing about my dream journals is that I actually remember my life through these dream journals. I never kept a real actual diary, at least not for a long period of time. So when I look through these, I remember big chunks of my life, like the dream characters that showed up and the people that showed up in my dreams and the situations I was in, they help me remember my actual life. So most of my life memories are actually dream memories, and they're remembered through looking through my dream journals. Another reason to keep a dream journal is that the longer you keep one, the more you're gonna start to notice patterns and recurring themes. You'll start to realize that in your dream journal, you're noticing dreams of the future. Like you'll have deja vu one day and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm having deja vu. I know this happened before. I think I dreamed this before. And you can actually go back and look it up in your journals and prove it to people so they don't think you're absolutely crazy. This has happened to me. This happens to me a lot. It actually happens to a lot of us a lot. We just don't realize it because we're not paying attention and we're not focusing on it. We're not keeping a dream journal and working with our dreams on a daily basis. But once you start to, things like this start to happen. So this actually did happen to me. I had a dream maybe like 3 years ago where I dreamed that I had something to do with real estate, but I was not a realtor. So I wrote it in my journal, not, the stellar dream, nothing that I really thought I'd have to work with, nothing big. But then a few years later, maybe just like 1 year later, I've been doing this probably like a year later, I ended up being a real estate photographer, which is not something that I had thought I would end up in. I wasn't even looking into real estate for anything. So that dream actually came true. I was in real estate, but I wasn't a realtor. Things like that. I had another one time where I dreamed I found the perfect dream journal. I dreamed that I found, I was at this, a nighttime market, walking around at night, and there was a leather stand. And I found all of these awesome journals in it. And one of them was like this leather journal and it had a tree on it. And I was telling everyone in my dream this would be such a great dream journal, blah, blah, blah. And then almost a year to the day after I had that dream, I was in that situation. I was at a night market and I found a leather store and I found that journal and I told everyone. I was like, oh my God, I dreamed this. Like, I'm going to make this a dream journal. It's gonna be amazing. So that actually happened. And I was able to look up the dream and prove to people that I had that dream. So I didn't look absolutely crazy. Another thing you might notice when you're keeping a dream journal for a while is that you're having dreams of healing and dreams of guidance. You can start to notice your own personal dream symbols, and you'll realize that you might need to do something with your body in real life to help yourself out. For example, I heard a story recently where someone was having a hard time with their colon, and they were having dreams of like bathrooms and things getting flushed out and then water running clearly, and that was their indicator that they needed to do a cleanse or something like that. You can also notice that you're getting glimpses into parallel realities in your dreams. Once you keep that journal, the journal is the key to all of this, guys. Once you have that journal and you have all of these dreams to look back on, you start to see these patterns. You might start to notice dreams where you're always in the same place. You're always around all these same people, but you don't even know these people in real life. These could be glimpses of a parallel reality that you're living, or a different timeline where you made different decisions and you're living this out in an alternate universe somewhere. I mean, you might find that a little far-fetched, but stick with the channel. I might be able to persuade you. So as you have kept a dream journal for a while and you're starting to notice these patterns and these themes and these recurring dreams, you'll start to realize that you now possess the best dream dictionary ever. It's personalized just to you. You're able to see your common symbols, and as you work with your dreams, you'll figure out what they mean to you. It beats any store-bought dream dictionary by 1,000 miles. I dream about alligators a lot, and I dream about shopping malls a lot. I also have this recurring theme of being in school and forgetting to go to class, or just being in school and working with my teachers. And after keeping my journal for so long, I've come to learn that when I'm in a shopping mall in my dream, I should keep an eye out for my grandpa, because my grandpa likes to show up in the shopping mall. Sometimes we eat hot dogs together. And when I'm at school, I've learned that my dreams of school are full of guides and teachers, literal teachers. It's almost like they come to me in class and they try to teach me through the guise of an actual teacher that I've created a dream character out of. Another reason for me to keep a dream journal is that just the act of writing the dream out helps me understand what it's trying to tell me. A perfect example of this is this morning. So I had a dream that I was in a mall. Like I said, I dream about malls a lot. Didn't see Grandpa though this time. So I was in a mall and I was walking with a bunch of people past a store that was down this ramp. And once you got down this ramp, you ran into a wall, and to get out, you had to turn around and go back up. And I knew this wall was there. I knew there was a dead end on there, and I knew we'd have to turn around and go back up. But I was showing people to walk this way anyway. I think because there was a cool pair of vintage pants that I wanted in the store. But anyway, we're walking down and we get stuck. And I turn around and someone had demolished part of the mall and built a bridge while we were standing there so that we didn't have to turn around and go all the way back out. We could just take this little shortcut. So that was the dream, right? Nothing too crazy. But as I was writing it down, the way I wrote it is what made me realize what maybe it was trying to tell me. So as I was writing out the dream, I wrote, someone had taken the materials from the deconstruction and built a ramp here to make things easier now. From now on, no one would have to hit the wall and make that decision again. So to me, that was I started to realize that I hit a wall. I hadn't put that together, that I hit a wall. So that, the wordplay shows up in dreams a lot. And as I was typing it out, I wrote it that way. And I was like, oh, it's telling me that I hit a wall. And then there was all of a sudden a shortcut out of there. So my takeaway from that dream My takeaway was that I hit a wall that I knew was there and that I was going to hit, but then a shortcut appeared right when I needed it. So I can go forward knowing that the right path is gonna appear when I need it, even if it's brand new and even if no one's ever been there before. Kind of like this channel. Kind of like this channel. One of the most fun reasons for me to keep a dream journal is that it is a stellar creative tool. I have so many vivid dream memories and images to work with because I've been tracking my dreams so long. It helps me with my artwork. I am a photographer, so Photoshop is my chosen artistic medium. And I don't do it a lot because I don't have a ton of extra time, but when I do have time, I like to make digital art pieces, I'll say. I'll put some on the screen so that you can see what they look like. And one day I want to do a video where I show you kind of how I do it, or at least, you know, take you through the steps, and I'll make something up fun so that you can see me in the process of making one of these. So a lot of people come up with book stories, like ideas for movies and stories from their dreams. Some of the greats have come up with inventions through their dreams. Paul McCartney says that he came up with the lyrics for Yesterday from a dream. And lucky for all of you, I got some lyrics in a dream one time too, and buckle up because here it comes. That's all, it was a snippet. But I remembered it so well that I was actually able to write it and like figure out what notes there on the guitar and play it. And it sounded just like that. It reminded me of a Wilson Phillips song. It sounded very 90s, but now that I'm like playing it, it sounds kind of 70s. Anyway, this would never exist if it weren't for my dream. Lucky you! Lucky you! I had another one once I haven't like written, but it was very Willie Nelson-ish, and it was all about whiskey. I'll have to find that one and try to write it for you guys. It was kind of cool. Anyway, that was an example of creativity coming from dreams. So now that we've sang songs and gone over all the reasons why we should keep a dream journal, let's start talking about how we can keep a dream journal. There's different ways to keep one. The most obvious is pen and paper. You know, get a journal and a pen and just start writing in your journal. And that works great. That's what I did for years. Or if you're a 15-year-old kid in 1994, or a modern day hipster, you could use your typewriter and type out your dreams if you feel like it. Another way to record your dreams, and I tried this before, is to use an audio recorder. It's a pretty good tip if you're really like not wanting to turn lights on and not wanting to wake up at all. An audio recorder is not a bad option. I've done it before and it works, but the downside for me is that then later I have to go and transcribe all of it. And I noticed that I don't like doing that. So that didn't really work for me. It wasn't a long-term solution for me, but it was nice. So if that's your thing, I mean, that's great. It's a good option. It is an option. If you're a more like visual person or an artist, a sketchbook is a good idea too. If you don't really want to write down your dreams, but you do want to do dream work, sketching is a great option. I'm in this dream teacher class right now, and there's a fellow student in there who, she does these beautiful drawings, and then she'll write like dream clips around it. Like she'll write about the dream in the drawing. So I mean, it's gorgeous, and for her that works beautifully, and they're just so amazing to look at, and it's such a different artistic way to work with your dreams, and that is an option too. So the way that I choose to keep a dream journal nowadays is that I keep a digital dream journal. So by that, I just basically mean I email my dreams to myself. So here's my process. I'll wake up in the morning and I'll grab my phone and I'll open up an email, and in the subject line before I do anything, I just write dream. So every dream I ever send myself has that same subject line of dream. So later I can look it up super easy. So I'll do that, and then I'll just bullet point. I'll just write clips of all the main parts of my dream that I can remember. I do that as fast as possible because my memory isn't that great, and if I don't get those main bullet points down, I'll lose a lot of my dream. So get the phone out, write out the bullet points, and then if I have time to stay in bed a little longer, I'll go through and I'll fill in all the gaps at that point, and then I send it to myself. That way I have it anytime I want it. When I'm actually in that situation where I'm like, no, I dreamt this before, I know I did, I whip out my phone and I go to my email and I search dream, because that's my subject heading, and then whatever was in the dream that I'm looking for, red shoes or whatever would be the other keyword, that I'm looking for, and that pops up and I have it right there anywhere I am, which is amazing. And every so often I will copy and paste my dreams, my emails, into a Word document, and then I will have that printed out. So I do have like a printed copy where I can look at them then. If I feel like just sitting around and not seeing it in a digital format for some reason, I can just flip through and look at these. And I also just have that Word document as another searchable database as a backup that I can keep going to and look. So I can search keywords if I'm looking for recurring theme. Just recently I looked up alligator because I'm like, what's with all the alligators in my dreams? And I'm finding dreams from years ago that I totally forgot about with the word alligator in them. So it's a really nice tool to have them in a digital format. And it's just working beautifully for me. So funny story, it's called Guinea Pig Manifesto. All of my dream journals are called Guinea Pig Manifesto volume, whatever, this is volume 1.5. Because I had a dream one time that I wrote a book called Guinea Pig Manifesto, and it was a super popular book. So I should note here, and I've done this before, I've made a mistake. There are apps out there that you can track your sleep and write down your dreams in. And I tried one once, and it was a great app, don't get me wrong. I don't remember what it was called, but I don't recommend it anyway, because it crashed on me one day, and I lost all of my dreams for like 6 or 7 months, like a 6 or 7 month stretch. They were gone, and they were good ones too. So I was heartbroken. There was nothing I could do to get the dreams back, and I refused to use a dream app ever again, like a dream journal tracking app. So just a word of warning, a bit of advice. They're great tools, but if they crash, you risk the chance of losing everything. So if you're gonna use one, at least have a backup. At least use the email option too, or audio recordings or something like that as a backup, just in case. So now you know all the many reasons and benefits for keeping a dream journal, and you have some ideas on how to keep a dream journal. And now I'd like to give you a few more tips on the specifics of your journal entries that are good just from a Dreamwork standpoint. I have like a prototype dream journal that I was working on where I'm trying to lay it out in like a way that makes sense, that's easy, and it asks you the questions I'm about to go through here. And it also includes some stuff to do in the morning. So I'm just gonna kind of go through and give you some options and ideas. This journal is set up to help you actually work with your dreams and figure out what they mean, and to do something with them in a meaningful way. Don't be too harsh. I know it's not perfect. There's not that much room. Like if you are a dreamer like me, there's not that much room to write your whole dream on here. So there's kinks I'm working out, but you'll get the idea. And you can just do this in any dream journal that you have. So one thing to do, and I say this a lot, but bullet point your dream. I don't know if this is a real tip like that other people use, but it's my tip, and it really works for me to keep me from forgetting everything within 5 minutes. So bullet point your dream. That's the first thing I do when I wake up. Bullet point. All the main things that you can remember. Don't get mired in the details at this point. Just do the bullet points. Then go through and write the whole dream out. It's a good idea to give your dream a title. You should definitely give your dream a title. This helps you find it later when you're looking for it later, and it also helps you boil the whole dream down into like what you find most important with it, which also helps you figure out what it's trying to tell you. You want to ask yourself how the dream made you feel. It's those feelings of the dream that also give you a really big clue as to what the dream is about, like what is the underlying meaning of the dream. A lot of that is tied to the feelings of the dream. So make sure you make a note of how you felt when you woke up. You also want to do a reality check. So I hinted on this earlier that we all have dreams of the future, and they're not always going to be obvious, you know, like the real estate thing with me. But do a reality check. Is there anything in this dream that could possibly happen in the future at all? Like location, like if it's a normal, you know, mundane, everyday location, it could be something you're going to come across someday. The more fantastical out there, like wild, riding on rainbows dreams, those might not have so much like reality grounded in them. They might, you never know. But it's like the more mundane ones, like, man, I was knocking on doors all night in my dream and handing out pamphlets and it sucked and I don't know why I was doing that. Like that could be a dream of the future. It could be a dream of a parallel reality. It could be a lot of things, but just do that reality check and it helps you kind of figure out what kind of dream you're working with. On my little journal page, I have a circle where you can write down the overall theme of the dream. This kind of ties into the title a little bit, but if you can boil down the theme of the dream, that also helps you later when you're trying to figure out what it means. So once you figure out the theme of the dream, see if it goes along with what you're wanting to manifest in your life. Is the theme of the dream or the feeling of the dream, is it in alignment with like where you want to be? This could be a big clue if you need to make changes. Like if you're having, especially if you're having nightmares, you're working through recurring themes. Try to see how that theme fits into your real life. And if you feel in alignment with that, if it's where you want to be or not, because that helps you take these dreams and work with them in a meaningful way to make real changes in your life if necessary. It's also important to think about what you're going to do with your dream. We tend to have more dreams, and dreams work with us a lot better when we actually do something with them. For me, I like to draw my dreams or, you know, make artwork out of them, or I work with them with people in a dream group. There are a lot of ways we can work with our dreams and like bring them into the real world. So try to think of different ways that you can do things with your dreams, like actually actively use your dreams for something. I have a little space in here to draw a sketch, which is kind of fun. Even if you're not an artist, it's fun to just do little sketches. It helps you remember like the visuals more of the dream. If you don't sketch, you can just use this as extra note space, but I think you should make a sketch. And then at the bottom of this page, I have, what do you wish to find as you travel through the dream of life today? Set an intention and look for signs and synchronicities. This part's in here because we don't stop dreaming just because we wake up. The world is full of symbols and synchronicities. You can work with this physical world just as much as you work with dreams. Like you can set a dream intention before you go to bed to remember something or think of something, or dream a certain way. You can set an intention to the world to do the same thing before you leave your house. Just set an intention like, hey universe, show me what I need to see, or what should I do about this issue I'm having? Should I take this job or not take this job? And then the first few things that you come across, treat them like dream symbols. Work with those as you would work with a dream, and you'll find like the world opens up. It's crazy. The synchronicities that we come across, it's crazy. Just start paying attention to it and see what happens. Robert Moss has a book about that's called Sidewalk Oracles. It's like my favorite book ever. I'll put a link to it down below. But it's just all about following synchronicities in the real world. Like the first half of the book is about basically about synchronicities, explaining things. And then the second half is a bunch of games you get to play with the universe. It's so fun. I would highly recommend this book to anybody who's interested in synchronicities or anything along those lines. And like I said, I'll put a link down there. Look for that. It is a fun, it brings like fun back into life. It is awesome. So then I have another section that is for when you're going to bed. So that first section of the dream journal was when you wake up and you're fresh with a dream. This one is on the other side. So right before you go to bed, I find it helpful to pull this out. And there's more bullet points, so it just says, what did you do today? So you don't have to write a whole monologue, but you can just put like, oh, I had this meeting and I did this and I went running with whoever. So that, just so you have a little bit of a reference. So your whole life doesn't just become, a series of dream journals like mine has. You can remember your life too. But really this helps you work with your dreams a little bit. Like it helps you kind of figure out what kind of dream you're working with. If all of these things that you did the day before are showing up in your dream, it's helpful. It's just helpful to have this for lots of reasons. There's another part that says, how do you feel right now? Are you in alignment with your goals? This kind of helps if you're picking up weird feelings and vibes from your dreams and every night you're writing down like, I feel like crap and no, I hate life and I'm nowhere where I want to be. Well, there's a clue as to what your dreams might be trying to tell you. So it's helpful just to know if you're in alignment with where you actually want to be in life, and just to keep track of that. Even just keeping track of it helps you remember to change it. Man, I write down I hate my life a lot. Maybe I need to like work on something. And then there's another bubble that says, life is a form of dream. What signs or synchronicities did you experience today? So this is where you can write down if you saw anything, because remember earlier, you wrote down what you wanted to see. So this is where you can write down the answers that you got to those intentions you set to the universe before you left your house. And then there's a spot here where you can write down your intentions for dreaming. It says, what do you wish to gain from your dreams tonight? This is where you write down your dream incubations. Like how I wrote down last night, I want to know, what can I add to this video? And I actually got something. So these intentions before you go to bed, when you interpret your dreams through this filter of what you set an intention for, it helps you focus on what those symbols mean. It's very helpful to have this. And to keep an intention. Sometimes the intention can just be, I want to have fun. It doesn't have, like, dream work sounds like a lot of work, but it really needs to be fun. It really should be fun. So sometimes, I just write, show me what I need to see. Show me what I want to see. Let me go on a dream adventure. I just want to have some fun, And that's totally fine too. That's totally fine too, but it is helpful when you have something heavy you're dealing with to set those intentions too, and get some very meaningful answers that way. Anyway, there is a lot of information packed into this video, so let me know what you think. If you liked this video, hit like. If you have any comments, put them down below. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified the next time we post some more content on Dreamwork. So until next time, happy dreaming!